my darlings. This is Mrs. Welch for the Chester Andover Elementary School Library, and I have a beginning of school book for you. It's called Mr. S, and it's written by Monica Arnaldo. Now, I'm going to be pointing out some pictures in the background that you really need to see for this story to make sense. So, be ready. Mr. S. And if you look right here, you can see a tree crashing on a red car. The kids in room 2B could tell something was wrong, even though it was their very first day of school. They had the sense that something was missing. And on the board it says, Mr. S. Where's the teacher? Someone whispered. Shouldn't they be here by now? Asked someone else. And we can see there's that man who was in there, and the tree on the car, and uh-oh, a pizza guy. The children looked at each other and then back to the front of the class. Where there should have been a teacher, there was only a stack of papers, a mug of coffee, and an impressive-looking sandwich. No teacher means no rules, cheered half the class. Absolutely not, scolded the other half. Before they could argue any further, a loud thwack came from the front of the room as a ruler clattered to the ground. Who did that? The kids whispered, eyeing the teacher's desk nervously. But there was only the sandwich. The clock ticked and the mug steamed, but the sandwich lay remarkably still. You don't think, said one half of the class. Don't be ridiculous, said the other. Look, called a kid from the back of the room, pointing to the chalkboard. There, in perfectly neat handwriting, was a name, Mr. S. As one, the children murmured, Mr. Sandwich. And we can see going on here, there's that man sitting on the car, and for some reason, the pizza guy's there, and there's pizzas all over the car. That settled it. Everyone got straight to work. You see these different sandwiches for the letters. I think that's funny. C is for club sandwich. D is for double-decker. They moved swiftly through the day's lesson. Mr. S was tough but fair. I will not throw food, and then look at this. That poor car. Now it's on fire. The kids all loved art class. Look over here. Story time ran a bit long. Next page, please. Music class was especially unconventional. Mary had a little ham, little ham, little ham. Mary had a little hand on some nice rye bread. And you can see, oh my gosh, the fire department's there putting out the car. As the day went on, some students began to wonder, is there something unusual about Mr. S? We've never had a teacher like him. We've never had a teacher at all. And it looks like we have a small pile of ash. That's all that's left of that car. The children argued quietly, and then not so quietly. A sandwich can't be a teacher. Why not? Yeah, there's all sorts of teachers. Piano teachers, salsa teachers, computer teachers. Suddenly the door burst open. Slam! The children in room 2B were perfectly silent as a very wet man made his way to the front of class. Children, said the man, whose jacket was smoking as though it had recently been on fire, I'm sorry I'm late. The kids blinked at one another. I've had an unusual morning, he continued, so I'm afraid we didn't have time for a proper introduction. The wet and smoky man picked up a piece of chalk and began to write on the board. The children's eyes darted back and forth between the two figures at the front of the class. I'm Mr. Spencer, your principal. And I see you've already met your teacher, Mr. S. Keep up the great work, everyone. I can tell this will be a special group. Looking around the room, the children had to agree. We never doubted you, Mr. Sandwich, said half the class. Well, maybe just for a minute, said the other half. Mr. S was composed as ever. That's quite all right, children, but actually my name isn't Mr. Sandwich. The S stands for, what do you think? And we're never gonna know because there's a mustard spot on it. Have a wonderful school year. This has been Mrs. Welch for the Chester Andover Elementary School, and we'll see you soon.